Hey Graham, it's Brandon. I hope I would be able to reach you, but I guess I'm not able to, so I know this is going to come as kind of a surprise, at least to you it isn't to me, but I killed someone today. I killed my girlfriend. Well, she's supposed to be my girlfriend, but she cheated on me, and I just...
In July 2019, Bianca Devins, a 17-year-old girl from Utica, New York, was tragically murdered. But the investigation quickly hit a dead end. The case took a strange turn when misleading clues and conflicting reports led detectives down several false paths, offering no clear answers. Despite the disturbing images and videos shared online, the police struggled to make significant progress. So, what went wrong in this investigation, and how did a mix of online obsession and misleading evidence make solving Bianca's case more complicated? Let's get in. Bianca Devins was born on October 2nd, 2001, in Utica, New York. From a young age, Bianca developed a love for art, particularly photography. She was active on social media platforms like Instagram, where she shared her work, personal thoughts, and experiences. Bianca was known for her kind, creative, and thoughtful personality, which she expressed through the pictures she posted and the interactions she had with her followers. Despite her outward appearance as a bright young woman, Bianca struggled with mental health issues that many young people can relate to today. She was open about her battles with depression and self-esteem, issues that she coped with in a world increasingly dominated by social media pressures. She shared her vulnerabilities online, and many of her followers admired her for her honesty and strength in the face of adversity. Bianca had made several attempts to better her mental health, and she often reached out to friends and family for support. Like many people, she sought connection and belonging through online platforms. Unfortunately, this sense of connection also exposed her to dangers, particularly from those who use the internet in unhealthy and harmful ways. Her tragic end would be revealed in the context of an online relationship that went terribly wrong, which involved a man who was consumed by obsession and unchecked mental health issues. On the other hand, Brandon Clark was born in 1998 and grew up in the same area of Utica, New York, as Bianca. On the surface, Brandon seemed like an ordinary young man, but beneath the surface, he struggled with significant emotional and psychological issues. Brandon had been socially isolated for much of his life and had a history of being bullied during his school years. These formative experiences contributed to his growing sense of loneliness and frustration, and these were emotions that he had difficulty managing. The relationship between Bianca Devins and Brandon Clark was complicated, which was marked by a mix of online interaction and ultimately manipulation and obsession. It is believed that they first met in April 2019 through Instagram. Brandon started following Bianca. At the outset, their connection appeared to be largely based on shared interests and interactions on the platform. However, the dynamics between them would soon take a darker turn. On the night of July 13th, 2019, Bianca Devins, her acquaintance Brandon Clark, and a mutual friend named Alex attended a performance by Canadian-American singer-songwriter Nicole Dollanganger in New York City. The evening was initially a shared experience, an outing that, on the surface, might have seemed like a fun and harmless event. After the concert, Clark and Devins returned to their hometown of Utica, New York, but things quickly took a disturbing turn. Following the concert, it is believed that an argument broke out between Devins and Clark, with the catalyst being a kiss that Bianca had shared with Alex earlier in the night. Clark's reaction to the kiss was intense, and it rapidly intensified into a confrontation between him and Devins. While some sources mention that the argument was about the kiss, others suggest that their relationship was already strained due to Clark's obsession with Bianca, which had been growing for some time. Bianca had repeatedly told Clark that she was not interested in pursuing a romantic relationship. Despite her clear boundaries, she found herself caught in a volatile situation with him. This argument, which might have been seen as a mere disagreement, would soon spiral into something far more horrifying. Clark's emotional and psychological pressure grew as he felt rejected and entitled. This build-up eventually pushed him to a violent breaking point. At some point during their drive back to Utica, the situation deteriorated. Clark, who was reported to have been in a deeply agitated state, began assaulting Bianca. The exact details of the assault are unclear. However, it is believed that during the violent altercation, Clark took out a long knife he had hidden by his seat. With this weapon, Clark slashed Bianca's neck in a brutal and calculated attack. The severity of the injury left Bianca nearly decapitated. Bianca Devins died in the early morning hours of July 14, 2019. After her death, Clark left her body in the car. In a disturbing display of detachment, he then built a bonfire nearby and listened to the song Test Drive by Joji, which apparently showed him the brutality he had just committed. After the murder, Clark's actions became even more grotesque and alarming. Rather than immediately attempting to conceal or cover up the crime, he made phone calls to several family members, each of which resembled a suicide note. His bizarre behavior prompted his family to call 911, which expressed concern about his intentions. While the situation was revealing, Clark took the shocking step of posting graphic photographs of Bianca's body on a Discord server. Accompanying the images was a disturbing with caption like, "Sorry fuckers, you're going to have to find somebody else to orbit." The phrase orbit refers to the term used in certain online communities to describe an obsessive attachment to someone. It was an obsession that Clark had evidently developed with Bianca. Clark also filmed a video of the murder, which was shared along with the disturbing images. This video, along with the photographs, spread rapidly across the internet and shocked anyone who saw it. It was only a matter of time before concerned individuals alerted the police to the graphic content.
After the incident occurred, which led to her death, that photos were taken of her and were posted on social media or chat platforms, one being Discord. They were posted on there, which led people to become concerned and to contact the Utica police.
Utica police received a couple of calls relating to this case.
Calls was a concerned person on that thread that saw the post, and on that post was a name and a location of Utica, New York, and that person became concerned based on the photo and contacted the Utica Police Department. We were also contacted by another individual that was familiar with the suspect in this case, and he also contacted the police, along with the suspect himself.
When the police arrived at the scene, they found Clark lying on the ground, severely injured after stabbing himself in the neck. He was positioned on a green tarp that had been placed over Bianca's body. Despite his critical injury, Clark continued to post more photos of the scene online and showcased his complete lack of remorse or empathy. Authorities discovered a suicide note nearby which read, "May you never forget me." These final words illustrated the level of narcissism and manipulation Clark displayed throughout the entire situation. Upon confirming Bianca's identity, the police swiftly arrested Clark and charged him with second-degree murder. As more details emerged about the crime, investigators learned that Clark had planned the murder in advance.
You can ask me and I can ask you, but so you would like to talk to me then? Yes? Yes? No? I have to get through this and then we can have a full conversation.
It was revealed that he had been in possession of a knife and equipment designed to record the killing, which indicated that the act was not impulsive, but rather premeditated. According to police reports, the nature of their relationship was described as personally intimate. However, This characterization was contested by Bianca's friends and family, who viewed the relationship quite differently. Bianca, who had a vibrant social life, made it clear to her family that she did not consider Clark to be more than a friend, and she had told her mother that she did not want to date him. Despite her clear boundaries, Bianca's mother believed that Clark may still have feelings for her daughter, feelings that were not reciprocated. Bianca's sister even referred to Clark as a trusted family friend, which indicated that, on the surface, their relationship may have appeared harmless to those around them. One of Bianca's close friends expressed concerns about Clark's behavior and showed his fear that he might have been exploiting Bianca sexually, especially when they were under the influence of drugs. It was reported that Clark would supply drugs to Bianca in an attempt to entice her to spend time with him. This added a troubling layer to their dynamic, as it suggested that Clark might have been manipulating Bianca into situations where she could not fully consent or act in her own best interest.
For almost 2 years now, I've sat in my cell and I've wondered what I'm going to say when it finally comes time for me to speak to the people that I've hurt. And
Though Bianca had initially tried to maintain a friendly relationship with Clark, the relationship soon became one-sided. Despite her repeated attempts to set clear boundaries, Clark's obsession with Bianca grew. Bianca's discomfort with his behavior increased, and she often confided in her friends and family about how his constant attention and possessiveness made her feel uneasy. Despite her attempts to distance herself from Clark, he continued to cling to the idea of a romantic connection, which led to a toxic and ultimately dangerous situation. Further investigation into Clark's behavior revealed troubling evidence that suggested he had been preparing for this crime for some time. Authorities discovered that Clark had conducted numerous online searches in the days leading up to the murder. These searches included terms such as how to find the carotid artery, how to incapacitate someone, how to kill someone, and how to choke or hang someone. These searches painted a disturbing picture of a man who had actively sought information on how to take another person's life. Additionally, law enforcement officials speculated that Clark's motive for the murder might have been related to a desire for fame. Police Sergeant Michael Curley stated that Clark may have been seeking attention and notoriety following the crime, which was reflected in his actions before and after the murder. His online posts, his callous attitude, and the public nature of his crime pointed to the possibility that Clark had been motivated by the idea of gaining attention for committing such a horrific act. It's likely that his time spent in certain online communities, which often promote unhealthy views about women and relationships, played a role in this obsession. Clark's disturbing online behavior, like searching for violent methods and sharing photos of the murder, showed a dangerous need for control and attention, with little regard for others' feelings. Social media was a huge factor in how Bianca's tragic death spread. Platforms like Instagram and Discord were used not just to share moments from her life, but also to post horrifying images and videos of her murder. This violation of her privacy was devastating for her family and friends. After the murder, people were outraged by how quickly these graphic images circulated, which highlighted how social media platforms failed to act fast enough. This tragedy also raised awareness about the dangers of online relationships, especially when one person becomes obsessed. The online world, with its ease of communication and anonymity, let Clark's obsession grow without control. Once Bianca felt trapped, she had little chance to escape. Brandon Clark initially pleaded not guilty to second-degree murder on July 29, 2019. However, he was later charged with promoting prison contraband after officers found a shiv in his cell.
I don't understand how I could do something like that. I don't even know who I was that day. And it disgusts me.
During this time, Devin's mother reported that Clark had written a letter bragging about the murder and claiming he couldn't handle the thought of Bianca walking out of his life. On February 10th, 2020, Clark changed his plea to guilty, and his sentencing was delayed due to the COVID-19 pandemic. He later attempted to withdraw his guilty plea, but this request was denied. On March 16th, 2021, Clark was sentenced to 25 years to life in prison.
This morning, WKTV television in Utica reporting that Brandon Clark has been sentenced to 25 years to life in prison in Oneida County Court. Previously, Clark wanted to withdraw his guilty plea, but the judge denied that request last October. Again, Brandon Clark of Cicero sentenced this morning in Oneida County Court, 25 years to life for the murder of Bianca Devins.
Bianca's mother, with support from Congressman Anthony Brindisi, pushed for social media reform, which led to the introduction of Bianca's Law in 2020. The law, passed in 2022, criminalized posting images of crime victims to harass or degrade.
Oneida County Congressman Anthony Brindisi is making a push to combat graphic content online. This follows the death of 17-year-old Bianca Devins last month. Following her death, graphic images of her body were posted on several websites, much to the shock of her family and friends.
The Devins family also created a scholarship in Bianca's name for psychology students and filed a lawsuit against the Oneida County DA's office for distributing footage of her death. Bianca's story underscores the need for safer online spaces, better mental health awareness, and stronger protections for vulnerable individuals. By learning from her tragedy, we can help prevent others from facing the same fate.
Processing it, trying so hard to do anything that will keep my mind off the fact that my sister is gone. Distractions are only temporary though, so when reality set in, that is when I realized this is no longer a nightmare. This is my life.